Jasper Philipsen does it again. Back-to-back stage wins. After stage 3, he now wins stage 4 on site at the Tour de France on the Nogaro racetrack. The finish of the stage, and this is where Jasper Philipsen shined, but it was a crash-marred stage. First, let's recount the first hours. 181 kilometers of racing, but if you didn't tune in the first hours, don't worry, you didn't miss anything, because it took 100 kilometers before we saw an escape go free. It was Anthony de la Place and Benoit Cosnefroy. The two didn't never get much time, and it didn't ever really matter, because back behind the sprint teams, they had a sprint in mind, because after the slow march towards here from Dax, the sprinters wanted to have their day, because the mountains are looming off in the distance, and perhaps that's why the riders were going so slow today. 23 kilometers out, the escape was finally caught. We should note, 88 kilometers to go. There was that intermediate sprint. Well, Jasper Philipsen was already tied with Victor Lafay in the green jersey competition. Well, today at the intermediate sprint, he got enough points, won the sprint there, and now was the leader outright of the green jersey competition. Just needed to get here to the finish line, but he did it in style. And then let's talk about that, because getting here to the racetrack, we're around 2 kilometers to race. We saw a lot of work by Soudal Quick Step for their sprinter, Fabio Jakobsen. Also, Bahrain Victorious was leading it here onto the track for their sprinter, Phil Bauhaus, but that's when the chaos started to happen. 1.5 kilometers out, around about 1.7 kilometers out, unfortunately, Fabio Jakobsen hit the deck, just right over that way, over my shoulders, hit the deck, came down hard, but the sprint was still marching on. We saw Mark Cavendish really in good position, moving up around the left side, doing his thing. But then on a curve back over that way, it was an Astana rider, and I think it was Luis Leon Sanchez who also hit the deck with another rider. Then, marching on, Uno X takes control. Søren Warnskjold for Alexander Kristoff, the red and yellow team, the Norwegian team racing in their first Tour de France. Søren pulls off, starts drifting back left, and then all of a sudden, something happens. He has to move, and it caused a crash with a Kofidi rider. Those two guys came down. Afterwards, I saw Søren over here in the pit areas where all the buses were parked, was walking to his team bus, bloodied up. But let's focus on those last final meters, because it was again classic superstar Mathieu van der Poel. Did the lead out, shoved his way through, made his way there on the left. We saw Biniam Girmay get a little bit of elbow, a little bit of shoulder from Mathieu van der Poel coming up on Girmay's right-hand side. Mathieu van der Poel charging through with Jasper Philipsen in tow. Dylan Groenewegen trying to get on his wheel, but to no avail. So with that massive lead out by Mathieu van der Poel, Philipsen had a clear shot to the line, but it was Ewan coming up to his left, gave Jasper Philipsen a run for his money. It was a tight, almost a photo finish there at the line, but it was Philipsen, the Belgian, coming off his win yesterday, winning twice in 2022 and now twice in 2023. Over there afterwards, I spoke with Van der Poel. It was a beautiful scrum. He was going down the line. I had some questions for Mathieu van der Poel. I said, hey, maybe the team now will just make you a pure lead-out man, and he laughed it off. But he did say, for him, leading out Philipsen to the victory is the same as victory for himself. He was really enjoying it. Spoke with Alexander Kristoff about the crash of his teammate and about what caused it all. He reckoned because there were so many fresh legs that it took it relatively easy to get to the track here, that a lot of teams and riders were up at the front trying to make something of the day. Had it been a harder day earlier on, it would have been more thinned out, less riders at the front. I don't know if that's the case, and in fact later I put that to Peter Sagan, the green jersey great, and he disagreed with his Norwegian colleague Kristoff. He said he didn't know why, but there were crashes, but it wasn't due to all the fresh legs coming here to the track. Spoke with the team boss there, Patrick Lefevre at Soudal Quickstep, about Fabio Jakobsen. He's pretty banged up. The good thing is that there's some mountains to come, and he doesn't have to work for a sprint anymore for the next few days. And another good thing that Lefevre noted is that he crashed on this smooth asphalt, so hopefully the scrapes aren't so bad, but he said he's definitely going to have a hard time sleeping tonight. And tonight also it'll be a reflection time for Mark Cavendish, who was up there in the mix as well. Also Bauhaus, also Caleb Ewan, who was pretty happy with this sprint despite missing out for a second day in a row. But up ahead are the Pyrenees, and we're heading into the mountains tomorrow. But as Philipsen, Van der Poel, the whole Alpecin de Koenig celebrating in this Tour de France Stage 4.